Hi everybody, this is Julie from Totally Holistic Health and thank you for joining me for day 8. We've done over halfway now, so we're on the finishing straight. So from here on in, we're going to do a little bit of work with the core today, and then we've got a few other things planned for later in the week, so and for the end of your challenge. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Obviously, any comments you have or any questions you've got, please feel free to either message me or obviously you can just comment underneath this video if you're actually watching this on YouTube or via Facebook. So we're going to start with core today. And the reason why we work on the core is because when you're actually doing the poses or the yoga asanas, you'll probably find that you'll become a lot more easy the more strength you have around the core area, and also having strength in the core will really help protect your back as well. So it's like a twofold effect. So people who have lower back pain tend to find that their core strength isn't so good. So this would really help people with lower back pain. And it just makes you feel so much better in yourself as well, because you have that really strong base as well to deal with, a lot of the poses. You'll feel a lot better in yourself. So we're going to start off on our backs, if that's okay. So again, you've got your blanket there. You can actually use the blanket on your lower back if you want to, just to give you a little bit of support under there. If you do have a little bit of an issue with your lower back, it just helps a little bit. Otherwise, just come onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. If you do need that support, so you can pop that underneath your bottom there. Again, it'll help a little bit. Okay, so just make sure that you're really connected. So again, just really maybe wriggle around a little bit just to feel that lovely connection with the earth. And you're going to bring the arms nice and wide to start off with. We're going to just do a little bit of a twist just to unravel that spine a little bit. So keeping the feet about hip width apart, a little bit wider if that feels better for you. We're going to just allow those knees to drop out to the left. So just allow both those knees to drop out. So you've got a nice strong stretch on the outside of one and on the inside of another. And then back to centre. Just use the belly, pull the belly back towards the spine as you're bringing both those knees back to centre, and then again pull them back towards the spine as you allow the knees to drop out to the right. And again, pull the belly back towards your spine, slowly bring those knees back to centre. Okay, so we're going to just bring the toes together, bring your knees together. So again, a bit like we did with chair pose yesterday, just make sure you've got a little gap between your heels. Again, just wriggle those shoulder blades underneath your back a little bit, because we're going to do a little bit of a bridge pose. So just bring those arms by your side with your hands facing down. So with this one, what we're going to do, again, just keep the belly engaged as much as you can. We're going to slowly tilt that lower back into the floor, so your pelvis just slowly tilts up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to push down with the feet. See if we can peel that lower back off the floor. So use the glutes, use the bottom muscles, use the belly muscles, slowly push yourself back up. Try and keep the head in line with the spine. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit closer towards your chest rather than having your head back. And then gently we're going to slowly pull ourselves back down again. Wonderful. Again, just taking a couple of breaths at the bottom, just to allow yourself just to sink that lower back into the floor, just to rest your belly, rest your lower back. Okay, so again, engaging that core, push the lower back into the floor so that pelvis tilts, push down with your feet slowly. Let's peel that lower back off the floor. Just a little bit, see if you go a little bit higher than you did last time. So again, use those glutes, really pull the bottom cheeks back towards your bottom. Pull the belly back towards your spine. And then slowly let's lower ourselves back down. Take a couple of breaths here. And again, just allow that lower back just to sink down into the floor. Just rest your belly. And we'll do that one more time. So again, just push that lower back into the floor. Tilt the pelvis, slowly push down with the feet. Let's allow that bottom to come up towards the ceiling. So you've got a nice stretch in the whole of your front body. So this is really stretching these psoas muscles here, which is your core muscles. So the main problem people have is the core muscles tend to be quite short. You're sitting down a lot, so this really stretches them. Now slowly let's lower ourselves back down onto the floor. Just take it a couple of moments. And again, just allow your belly to relax, allow the lower back to relax. Okay, so just keep your hands by your side. We're going to just bring those knees up so they are just coming above your hips, so keeping them bent. Okay, so with this particular option we're going to do now, you've got the option of just sliding your legs across the floor, or you can just hover them. It's up to you. Okay, so we're going to bring the arms up as well. So have the palms facing towards each other. So we're going to slowly stretch our left leg away from us. So again, you can either just slide it down the floor, so have the leg onto the floor, or to make it a little bit harder, just hovering it above the floor and bring the right arm just to rest on the floor above your head. Let's bring them both back to centre. We're doing the same on the second side, so just stretch that right leg away from you. Stretch the left arm above your head. Use the belly muscles, pull that belly towards your spine. Back to centre, both arms, both legs, again hovering. Same on the second side, so let's bring the left leg out, right leg up. Keep the breath nice and safe, so try not to hold the breath, both back to centre. If you hold the breath, it makes it a little bit harder. You need that energy. Right leg away, left arm up. Wonderful. Last time, both sides. Left leg straight, right arm above the head. Back to centre. Right leg straight, left arm above the head. Back to centre. Let's just draw those knees in towards your chest. Just easing that belly, so it's nice just to circle those knees around. Again, this just helps massage that lower back, but again, just eases those belly muscles. Okay, so let's bring those feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a couple of bridges just to ease that spine again, just to ease that belly again. So let's bring your hands by your side. Again, just push that lower back into the floor. Let's slowly push down with your feet. Bring your bottom off the floor. Come into that bridge. And then slowly lowering your head back down. So we're going to use the breath in here now. So as we bring the belly up, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. At the same time, just allow those arms to come over your head and rest onto the floor above your head. And as you're breathing out, just allow your bottom and your arms to come back where they started. Breathing in, just push that lower back into the floor, lift your bottom up. Bring those arms back down by your side. One more time. Lower back into the floor. Tilt that pelvis, push down with your feet. Let's bring those bottoms off the floor and those arms above your head. Slowly coming back down. Wonderful. Okay, so if you have got a little bit of support underneath your lower back, you might need it for the next bit. If you haven't, don't worry, you can still do it on the floor, but just be really careful with your spine. So let's bring those knees in towards your chest again. Slowly give them a nice big hug. Just draw them as close to the chest as you can. And now I'm going to just allow those legs to come up towards the ceiling. So again, you can bring your hands onto the back of those thighs just to give them a little bit of support, and they don't have to be straight. You can just bend those knees a little bit. It's quite nice just to circle those ankles though, just to release that tension in the ankles. Again, keep that core engaged. Just imagine pulling the belly back towards your spine. Wonderful. So this is fine. If you want to stay here with the legs up in towards the ceiling, that's absolutely fine. You've got that support underneath your lower back, and if it doesn't hurt, that's absolutely fine. If it does hurt, just bring those knees a little bit more in towards the chest. Whichever option you decide to do, you've got the option of just staying here with your hands on the back of your thighs, or you can let the arms go and just allow them to come and hang just parallel with each other, parallel with your legs, just up towards the ceiling. So again, it should feel quite weightless. It should feel as if you're not using any pressure on any part of your body. If that does feel uncomfortable, again, just bring those hands just on the back of those knees just to support those legs. And again, I think this is option 2. So if you're happy with option 2, stay here. Option 3 is just allow those arms just to come and rest on the floor above your head. And again, keep those core engaged. Again, the legs just up towards the ceiling. draw those knees back in, bring those arms back. Just give your knees a nice big hug. Wonderful. Okay, so that's a lovely. Let's bring those feet back onto the floor. Again, about hip width apart. It's probably good to move that blanket if you have chosen to have the blanket underneath your bottom. I'm going to do a little bit of a twist again, similar to what we did at the start. Arms nice and wide. Let's bring both those knees over to the left. Just feel a little pull on that lower back. Just be really careful how that feels. Both knees back to centre, dropping them both over to the right. So again, keep that core engaged, pull the belly back towards your spine as you're doing this again, just to protect that lower back. Come back to centre with those knees. Okay, so we're going to come into a seated position. So you've got the option of just rolling onto one side and coming up, or you can just bring the knees in, grab hold of the back of your thighs, slowly rock yourself up to a seated position. Okay, so we're going to come into a chair. We're going to come into boat pose now. So boat pose is can be quite tough. There's lots of different ways of doing it, but the most important thing really is to protect your spine and your lower back, which again is why we need to use the core. So it's a really good core strengthening asana to do. So just imagine you've got like a corset around your belly, around the side body. So what we're trying to do is pull everything really tight, really strong in there just to protect this lower back. And we're going to make sure that we're just dropping the shoulders down. So a lot of people tend to come into boat pose like this. And again, you put a lot of pressure onto that lower back. So really pull yourself nice and tall, pull the belly back towards the spine, drop those shoulder blades down the back. Okay, so let's bring those knees together. So again, if you can bring the knees close by. Obviously, if you find that's really uncomfortable, you can bring them a little bit sort of further apart. So we're going to just draw ourselves nice and tall. Just drop the shoulder blades down the back. Try to keep the head up as well. It just stops you from collapsing into those shoulders. Just imagine the spine stacking one above each other. So again, keeping that core nice and strong. We're going to bring the hands onto the backs of those thighs. And then slowly, keep the chest as open as you can. We're going to drop back to about 45 degrees. Again, really keep that core nice and strong. If you feel any pain in your back at all, just ease yourself up a bit more. Okay, so you're quite welcome to stay here. If you've not done boat pose before, it can be quite challenging. So you're happy to keep the feet on the floor, that's absolutely fine. What you can do is walk those feet a little bit closer in just to get more of a sensation about how it would feel. But if that feels okay, maybe bring one leg up and then the other. So again, keeping the chest nice and open, keep the core in. Try to keep that breath going as well. If you hold your breath, you're going to really cause yourself some problems. So again, if that feels okay, you've got another option of just letting go with the thighs, just reaching those fingertips towards those feet. And then slowly just bring those toes back down onto the floor. Then there's a nice curling down, just bring the head between your knees, just curling that spine. A couple of breaths here. Feel a lovely stretch in the back. Wonderful. So let's come to all fours now. So bring the knees just directly underneath your bottom. We're going to come into called a poppy dog pose. And this stretches that front part of the body. Again, it's really, really nice stretch. If you have issues with your shoulders, it's good to bring the arms quite wide. Or what you can do is just rest your head onto your forearms. What we're trying to do is get the chest as close to the floor, so it's a really gentle back bend. So if you can, keep your bottom above your knees. Just see if you can bring your chest down towards the floor. So again, wherever your arms feel comfortable, that's fine. Again, you can just rest your head on those arms, you can stretch them out. Just what we're trying to do here is just bring the chest down and bring the chin onto the floor. But again, I can appreciate that's quite a tough one. But just feel that stretch into the side body, just feel that stretch in the waist, into the belly. It's also a very good stretch into the shoulders as well. So let's slowly walk those hands back now. We can sit back onto our heels into pose of a child. So again, these can go a little bit wider here if you want them to. Just sinking the chest forward. And again, resting the head onto your arms if that feels okay. Come onto all fours now. Okay, so just bring those knees back underneath your hips if you've chosen the widening option. Hands underneath your shoulders. Again, make sure those fingertips are nice and strong. Really wide, just take weight through those fingertips rather than through those wrists. So we're going to come into the dreaded plank now. So I see lots of different versions of a plank. Lots of times the bottom's up in the air, lots of times the bottom's will really drop down. Up in the air is not too much of a problem, but it's more of an downward dog. If you drop your bottom down a little bit and really curve your spine, so if you come into a plank that's like this, you're going to put a lot of pressure on that lower back, and really you need to use the glutes and the whole of the belly, like a bit like a corset like we did with boat pose. So the whole of your lower body is really working. So we're trying to clamp the legs together, trying to push those heels away, really feel that strength in this lower body. Okay, so coming back onto those all fours. So the best way to come into a plank so you don't drop your bottom down is to come into it from tabletop position. So what we're going to do is just straighten back with one leg. So again, make sure the toes are curled under, push that heel away, straighten back the other leg. Keep the legs together if you want to, push those heels away, really pull the muscles back towards the bone, tighten the glutes, tighten the belly. Okay, if that's too strong, you've got the option of bringing the knees down. Push into a downward dog. So just drop the head down between your arms, paddling out with those feet. Really, really enjoy that stretch. Okay, so again, we're going to come forward into a plank or that half plank if you want to. So just slide your weight forward. Push those heels away. Keep the legs close together. Stronging those arms. Downward dog. Just take that really good breath in and out. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. When you feel ready, just bring that weight forward into plank or half plank. Keep that pressure on those feet, push those feet away. Pull the glutes back, belly back towards your spine. Bring those knees down. Pose of a child. Just sink your bottom back towards those feet. Again, the arms can go wherever you want them to go. You can bring them by your side if that feels okay. Or you can stretch them out. Again, knees can be wide if you want them to be. Again, it's nice just to rock your head onto the mat. Side to side, just to ease that forward. Walk those hands back. Wonderful. So you can stay in that lovely kneeling position, or we can come into cross-legged position, whichever is easy for you. And again, just draw yourself nice and tall, whichever position you decide to come into. Close those eyes for a few moments. Just allow yourself just to settle. Just allow the breath to release. Your hands into your heart centre. Again, just lower the head down towards those fingertips. And the main thing is just giving yourself that clap, that pat on the back, just to congratulate yourself for just turning out for this practice today. Just noticing how much stronger you're feeling as your days go by. And just thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Till next time. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been a bit of a toughie today, but obviously slowly, surely, you're going to build up strength, you're going to build up core strength. So every little thing really, really helps. Just develop your own practice. And again, the main thing is just take away what you need to take away. You don't feel as if you have to do all of it. You can stop the video or just work your way through it in your own time, or go back a few days as well and then come back into it. But until tomorrow, I will see you then. Take care. Bye bye.